How you doing? My name is Mark Hughes, and you're watching True Talk News.
I'm far from perfect, but I know my purpose, and nothing or no one can hold back the truth.
Yeah.
Thank you so much just for being here with us for True Talk News, Mr. Hughes. Am I saying it right?
Absolutely,
Mr.
absolutely,
Hughes.
absolutely.
Okay.
It's an honor and pleasure to be here.
Thank you, thank you. So where are you originally from?
I'm originally from Arlington, Texas. I say Arlington, Texas. I've been living there since I was 11 years old. So it's been about almost 20, 25 years.
Okay, that's awesome. So back in Arlington, whenever you were young, do you remember the crime and the police brutality being like it is now?
You know, it's funny for the simple fact that I don't recall it being as publicized or as broadcast as much as it is today. So I would have to say no. I would think, in hindsight, that you would think that crime is more elevated today than probably what it was back then.
And they had you all over the news, with the rifle, and you were prepared at the protest. So what made you go to the protest on?
Well, basically what it was is that Castile, the young man that was killed in Minnesota, was killed. He lawfully had a right to carry his handgun. He had a concealed handgun license, which he was reaching for at the time when he was gunned down by the police officer. So my rifle I took out there as a symbolism, saying that, the Second Amendment shall apply to us just like it applies to everyone else. And so it wasn't that I'm a gun-toting Second Amendment apologist. It was used as a symbol, saying that I stand in solidarity with my brother who being gunned down and with the movement as well.
That's amazing. That's awesome. So after the shooting happened in Dallas, I seen all over the news that they were falsely accusing you of being the one to start all of the drama and falsely accusing you of being the one to start all of the mess. So after the shooting, and after you were falsely accused, what type of energy did you receive from the community? Was it negative or was it positive? Or, what were their, how did they try to help anyway?
Well, it depends on which community you're talking about. Here in America, we're having a great situation right now where there's a big racial divide. There's a lot of support that came from the African American community, and a lot of rhetoric that came from the Caucasian community. There were several death threats. We received several phone calls. We received stuff through social media outlets. Not only me, my brother as well. So the first couple of weeks was very horrific. It was very horrific and eye-opening situations, because of the simple fact that I had nothing to do with the situation, and there were people out there who really believed that I was involved in the shooting and killing of 5 police officers.
Yes, that's horrible. That is so horrible. Just to know that you had nothing to do with it. You were there to make peace and to end war, and they tried to put your name into the war. So after being falsely accused, how did the police, did they try to clear up your name any type of way?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. The Dallas Police Department, who was 100% responsible for putting my name out there and releasing my image to the mass media, not only nationally but to the world, never came out and publicly recanted their statement that I was a suspect. Not a person of interest, but a suspect. And not only did they label me a suspect, they put out a manhunt asking the public to find me.
Oh, that's horrible. That is horrible. So what do you think that the African American community should do to get more involved, or just to make a change, period? What do you think that we should do?
Well, what we've been hearing is that sometimes you hear the protest doesn't work. The protest doesn't work. Well, we use the protest as a way of getting information out to the masses. And so I think that's the first thing, is that you want to get information out. And I encourage everyone to look around your community and get involved. There's a lot of organizations that's out there that's fighting for the movement. Now, organization-wise, I think the heads of the organizations need to come together and we become one, and have one voice, and make sure that we're saying and pushing toward the correct agenda. Because as long as we're separated and asking for different things, we'll never have the push that we need for change.
Yes, I totally agree whenever you talk about the heads of the leadership. You know, we definitely need to come together. So do you think that the churches, the leaders in the churches and the leaders in the community have been doing enough? Or
And sister, on that right there, I would say that there are a few ministers and pastors out there that are leading the way. But if you can go back to the civil rights movement, the church is where it started at. The church is where it started at. And I think that right now we have a lot of ministers and pastors that they aren't willing to get uncomfortable and step out because of the simple fact that this is where their tithes and offering comes from.
so with the crime and the police brutality steady on the rise, do you believe that we should turn our guns into the police hands, or do you think that we should load up on our guns and prepare for for more police killings?
Well, I don't believe that we should be loading up on guns in sight of a war with the police department. For one, we'll never win that battle. But I do believe in the law of the land. And if the law of the land allows us to have guns, then it shouldn't be an issue. We shouldn't fear for our life because we're black and have firearms. Now, with that being said, do I think the crime rate is going to continuously go on a rise? Absolutely. Until there's police reform, until there's community policing, until there's resources and education reform, until there's equality in the judicial system. There's a lot of things that we're not afforded into in our community that has the young people and has our community lashing out. So until we are afforded the same rights as everybody else, there's always going to be a situational problem.
The young African Americans that would like to get involved and they just don't know what to do first, what would you encourage their first step to be?
Keep the energy. Keep the energy. The young folks are getting a lot of negative publicity because of the energy, but I say find a way to funnel that energy to something positive. As I said earlier, reach out to some of the people that, some of the organizations in your community that are doing the right things, because we need the energy of the young people. We need that energy instead of the older generation and the people that don't understand what's really going on. They're going to criticize you, but you have to realize that a lot of people were criticized in the civil rights movement, and it was a lot of the young energy that helped push it through. So we need that. Just find a way to funnel your energy into something positive. Get connected. That's what I would ask you to do. Get connected. Follow me on Facebook, Mark Hughes. Instagram, the realest 2. There's a lot of organizations that I have and I tag on my posts that you can find your way connected to.
Was the volleyball team at Desoto High School. They took a knee during the games, and they did it again last night. They was trying to suspend the students for just taking a knee. They got on the coach and everything. We was like, why do that? Like, they had something to leave. And the reason then behind them taking the knee was one of the volleyball team players, they had FaceTime, her brother had FaceTimed her and saying that he got pulled over by police. He didn't know what was happening. Police already had the guns pointed at him, everything, for a tailgate. Tail light out or something like that. So I was like, that's like, you had reasoning. Like, he said that it's in this close to us and we're scared to go out. Scared to go outside. Scared for me to come up here daily trying to do my homework and get an education. So they did that. Then we was protesting during the school. Like, we had the silent protesting. We was supposed to be doing something every day this week. And so Monday we had silent protest. None of us was talking. That's when we had silent protests on us. The principal directed us to take off our things and say you can't do what you want to believe in and all this stuff. It's like, but this is our First Amendment. Like, we have the right to do so. So we even was like, so that's another reason why we was protesting too in the school, because you're trying to take away our rights to even have an opinion to what's going on in the world, in the society now. Why should we not protest now when we're going to be the next generation that has to deal with it, and it's going to fall on us what's happening now? So after we did that, so we had a meeting yesterday up at the admin building, and they told us we can't protest on school, can't do none of that. Whatever, if we do want to protest, we can't do it on school grounds, because they don't want to be a liability for something happening. If something happened, it was like, we understand that. And it's sad that you had people in our community making threats to the high school, saying rude comments about the kids, taking knees about it. Like, it's really sad at this point.
We have to come together. We can't just do it on our own or by ourselves. So much. And do you want to add any final last words?
What I would say, I just encourage everyone to stay alert. Pay attention to what's going on. Don't just take what you hear on the news and run with it. And get involved. That's the main thing I want to tell everyone out there. Get involved with something, because like you said, it's past the time to be sitting behind a computer. And I want to encourage our men to step up. When we have these protests, it's more women. It's 90% more women out there that's holding down the movement. And we're supposed to be the backbone. We're supposed to be the backbone. So I encourage more men to step up and be involved.
Thank you so much.
That's good.
Thank you.